Next very important question is how we should attempt the paper. And as I've said earlier, if you're convinced with my logic, then only you should try this. Otherwise you should continue whatever you're doing. So before devising any strategy to tackle the paper, I should look at what kind of variable we are looking at while attempting a paper, right? If JEE is giving you a paper, then what kind of variability we can expect? So number one variable could be number of questions in the examination, that is not fixed. Second variable could be type of question, like if we are having single choice, multiple choice, or comprehension. Third type of variable could be marks distribution, marking scheme, mark distribution or marking scheme. It could be +4 -1 or +4 -2 or +3 -1 and so on and so forth. Next thing could be relative toughness among the subject. Like this year it may happen that mathematics is easy or physics is easy or all three are relatively easy or all three are difficult, right? This again one of the variables. Okay, next parameter could be category of questions. Like I have defined three type of categories. Like first is easy question, or what we call is procedural question. In these kind of question you are not supposed to do any fresh thinking. You already know how to solve these kind of questions. For example, if I give you a function and ask what is the derivative of this function, there is no thinking is involved in it. You already know the answer, how to differentiate a function, right? This is first category of question. Second category of question is what we call moderate question, in which a bit deep thinking is required, right? You can reach to the answer, but for which you require some time to think deeply, or there are many aspects of the question which you are supposed to look into. Then third type of question I define as tough question, or what we say trick based question in mathematics especially. Those kind of question are like hit and trial based question. If the trick clicks, it can click say within 10 seconds, or you can sit upon it for say hours and you may not be able to get the trick, and hence the solution of this type of question. So throughout the paper you will be having these kind of questions. Now you never know what kind of question is present in which part of the paper, right? That will be distributed over the paper. So these are some important parameters we are supposed to look at. Then second thing comes, uh, what what is the historical analysis of JEE paper, like what kind of pattern I can get from this paper. Then in my opinion, JEE IIT is different from other examination because of this factor only, right? You cannot find any pattern over the years. If you analyze say past 20 years paper, you won't be able to find any pattern, right? So you should be up for surprises all the time. You should not have any preconceived notion about the type of the paper you are going to get or number of the question. You should not think in those terms at all, right? Rather you should be surprised. If there is no surprise in the paper, then only you should be surprised. Otherwise you should be mentally ready that there will be some surprise in the question paper in terms of number of questions or difficulty level or type of question. Anything can happen, right? So historical data analysis won't help much in my opinion. This is the second thing. Okay, third important thing is you should think from the perspective of an examiner. Say in a paper of 1 hour, say for mathematics, you are having 20 questions. That means on an average 3 minutes are allotted per question. Okay, fair enough. But you should think when examiner is sitting to set the paper, he won't be sitting with a scale, right? He won't be doing, he lift a question and measure it, and if falls in that category of 3 minutes, he'll put it in the paper, otherwise he'll reject it. Of course this is not logical, this is not gonna happen. What will happen, what he'll do, he'll more or less he'll try to find a question which falls in this range. Say something like he can put some question which will require say 1.5 minute only to solve, and there will be definitely some question which will take more than 5 minutes to solve. Whether it is calculation intensive or it is deep thinking is involved in while solving those kind of questions, that's a different matter. But on the time scale, maybe some question would be present in the paper which will take only 1 or 2 minutes, and other question will take more than 5 minutes, right? So each and every question cannot be cannot have weightage in terms of time of 3 minutes only, right? That you should understand. Why I'm saying so, I have heard some logics, ridiculous logics, like whenever you are trying a paper back at home, then you should only try a question for 3 minutes. You should try a question only for 3 minutes and then you should leave it. This is ridiculous. On the face of it, it is ridiculous. You should laugh on these kind of strategies. So this was our third point. Now, fourth point is what kind of excuses or observation students come after the examination, right? What kind of excuses they give. One of the most common excuses, like I was attempting the paper, say question number 1 2 3 I was doing, and I did question number 3, which eventually I got the answer, but it took me say 15 minutes, and last part of the paper consists of those questions which I could have done in same 15 minutes. I could have done 3 or 4 questions, right? So even if you have done a question, it was not wise to attempt that question if the question is that lengthy calculation wise. Especially in mathematics and coordinate, this may happen that you know the solution, but it is very calculation intensive, so it will take a hell lot of time to solve that question, right? This is one kind of. Okay, second kind of excuse is a student will come up with, say I have allotted 1 hour to each subject. While I was attempting mathematics, say for 1 hour, I cannot do many questions, right? And in chemistry, I was able to solve many questions, but time was limited, so I could not do many questions. Questions were easy, but I was knowing the solution, right? This is second type of excuse. That means he have wasted his time in a question which he could not get or which he could not understand, and in those questions which he could have done, time limitation was there, right? Because of time limitation, he could not attempt those questions. The second kind of excuse. The third kind of excuse is like, my, so a student will say my any topic, say integration is very good, so question number 3 was of integration and I tried, and in first go I couldn't get it, so I keep on attempting it, and it took me 15 minutes, and after that also I could not get it. So my confidence was shaken that I knew this topic very well. Still, if I could not do this question, then what can be said about other topics? This is another thing, like another excuse. Then one of the excuse, more or less the same thing, like paper was lengthy. Initially I got stuck and I could not reach to the last paper, in which there were several easy questions, right? And I can go on and on over this. This is not the idea. The idea, I think you are able to get what kind of excuses or problems a student face. Or one kind of excuse could be that I'm having a habit of filling the OMR sheet in the last, and I lost track of time, and I saw when invigilator was standing over my head, and I could not fill all the answers. So I could not, even if I have solved 10 questions, I could not fill it in OMR sheets. Right? These kind of excuses are ridiculous, in my opinion. This should not happen. You should be prepared for these kind of scenarios, right? Okay. Now, before jumping to tell you the strategy of solving the paper, what is our aim while we are setting the paper? Our aim should be, I'm supposed to score maximum number of marks I'm supposed to get anyhow. That does not matter from which questions I'm getting marks, right? Whether the topic is of my liking or not, I should get as many marks as I can get, right? This should be our aim. Now, okay, now I'll come to the part that what we should do and what we should not do while attempting a paper. And again, this is my opinion, and if you are not comfortable, then you should not follow it, right? First thing, whenever you're sitting, many things will be, say it is very obvious, or what is the use of it. Because of these things only, I am telling you, many students are sitting outside IIT, right? Because of ignoring these simple or small steps, many students are sitting outside IIT. So whenever I'm saying something, of course I have experience over the years, I've seen students, that's why I'm suggesting you, because you could be one of them, right? So first thing, when you're sitting in the paper, you should go through instructions very carefully and take your time. Then after the paper, you should not come, I could not see marking scheme, I thought it was +4 0 and no negative marking, but that was +4 -2. There was no negative marking, only for first 5 questions, and I thought it was for entire paper. These kind of persons, I would say, if I could be harsh, that should not be allowed to even sit in JEE. When you do not have that much IQ, why instructions are given? First of all, in the first place, why they're given? They're given for you. You are supposed to read it and understand it, follow it thoroughly, right? That should be first thing, which is very important. Second thing, after opening the paper, you should go through it. Say within a minute or so, you can go through it, entire paper, and you need not to read each and every question. Just get a feel of it, right? So that you'll know how many questions are there, right? And in some cases, if you are able to see some familiar diagrams, that form some notion in your brain. ठीक? This is second thing, that just go through it, right? It won't take much time. It is not time wastage, it is investment. It will take 1 or 2 minutes at the max. This is second thing. Third thing is, do not have any preconceived notion in your brain. Like, some student will say, I'm very good at single choice, but multiple choice I never get good marks. Or somebody will say, in column matching I have never got one question correct till date, right? These kind of notion you're not supposed to have in your head, because when you're saying in multiple type of question I'm not able to do well, that may be case with you. Like, why I'm saying so, every institute or coaching institute, or for that matter any book, has a particular flavor, right? They may be of the habit of putting multiple type question in a tough category. J is altogether different. And as I've said, J is known for surprises. Earlier there used to be 20 questions in JEE paper. 10 questions will be of 2 marks and 10 questions will be of 4 marks. And this happened many times, that some of the 2 marks question were way tougher than 4 marks question. So that can happen even now as well. You may get some single choice question which is way tough than a column matching. So these kind of notion you should not have. J is altogether a different exam. The examiner will be having a different taste. He may be having a habit of putting tough questions only in single choice and very easy question in comprehension and in column matching. This may happen. So if your habit is other way around, you are doomed. So clear all those kind of thoughts from your brain. The next thing is, never ever try to increase your speed, right, in the paper artificially. You should sit, there should be a sense of urgency, that is well understood, right? But it should not be, you should not go over the board, right? You should not try to make very fast calculation very fast, because definitely then you'll do calculation mistakes, right? The speed should be chosen, that only what you were doing back at home while you were doing your homework, right? If you want to work upon your speed, that is during the time when you are attempting your homework back at home. It is not in the examination, because in examination there will be added pressure that this is JEE examination, my future depends upon this, something like this. So you are going through if you are going through calculation very fast, definitely you are bound to make couple of mistakes, right? And keep in your mind, IIT-JEE is still a test of knowledge, not test of speed. Still, even if, say, you are doing very fast calculation and you have saved some time, it won't be more than 4 or 5 minutes in the entire paper of 1 hour, say. And in that 4-5 minutes, what you can do at the max, you can solve one more question. But this may happen that you have got marks for that one more question, but you got wrong answer for 3-4 questions just because of calculation mistake, just because you try to increase your speed. So never ever do that. Take your own time, and it should not be way too relaxed and carefree attitude. There should be a sense of urgency, but it should be moderate. Right? Knowingly, you should not try to increase your speed. That is the motto. Okay. Then, then again, as I have said, you should not set time for each and every subject. You should not have anything like 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour for chemistry, 1 hour for mathematics, 1 hour for physics. Or some students are of the habit that they will put 1 hour and 20 minutes for mathematics, and then say 50 minutes for physics and 50 minutes for chemistry. This is not advisable, right? You should not have any time frame in your mind with respect to different subjects. Why I'm saying so? Because you never know which paper will be tough. Say if I'm giving physics very lengthy and very easy, and I'm giving mathematics very tough, now you would be spending 1 hour and 20 minutes on those questions which have no guarantee to be solved, right? Because they are very tough. So what you are doing effectively, you are sitting idle in mathematics paper. Say for some 10-20 minutes you have done some question, and if paper is very tough, you will be only trying, but you won't be getting any answers. And if with this strategy you go to physics and you have only 50 minutes which consists of lengthy easy questions, then you won't have any time, right? As I've said, what is your aim? Your aim is to maximize your score irrespective of from which subject you are getting and from which type of question you are getting, right? All these kind of talks like chemistry makes the rank, or in JEE usually mathematics is difficult, these are all crap. This never happens, right? This is the reason every year many students who are very good knowledge wise will mess up the paper and will be sitting outside JEE just because of these kind of thinking, right? As I've said, what should be my aim? I know there will be some portion in the paper which will be easy, and those questions can be done within a minute or two, right? Now, but that question we are supposed to find out, that will be distributed over the paper. So before I start thinking on those questions which can be done, it is advisable to first do those questions which surely will be done, which are procedural, right? So what I'll say, you are supposed to give 2 rounds to the paper. In the first round, while you are attempting in the first round, you are supposed to go through the questions, right? And only try to solve those questions which you can get in 2 3 4 minutes, not more than that, right? Say when you read a question, now you, in many questions you know the solution, right? If your preparation is up to the level, then definitely you know. For example, if I give you a question, find equation of tangent to this curve, you should be able to understand this question definitely can be done. Or entire procedure you know already, there's nothing called fresh thinking in this question. So this type of question you should do, which I'm calling as procedural and easy. There may be some question which are procedural and lengthy. Leave those questions, put a tick and leave those questions. While you are giving first round in the paper, if you come across a question which is very tough, or there could be a question which you could not understand what it is saying, just leave it. Do not read it even twice, right? Or there could be some difficult looking question which you are not even feeling like is reading, then again leave it. In first go or in first round, you are supposed to attempt only those questions which you have understood and you have seen the entire solution map in your brain, that this will be done something like this, provided it is not very lengthy. And if it is lengthy, then put a tick and leave it for the time being, right? Now by doing so, go through all 3 subjects. In which sequence you should attempt the subjects? In my opinion, first of all you should go for chemistry, then physics, then mathematics, first round. Second round again same thing, chemistry, physics, mathematics. After first round, what will happen? Because initially there is not much pressure on the brain, so there are less probability of doing calculation mistakes, right? So you're supposed to, what in first go, what you're doing, you're identifying those easy questions and are trying to do those questions without calculation mistakes. And simultaneously, as you're going through the paper, you're also knowing that in which part of paper there are questions which you can again attempt after giving some time, right? But if you are doing something like first you'll try question number 1 and you'll go to question number 2 only when 1 is solved, then you'll go to question number 3 only when 2 is solved. By doing so, you may end up attempting only 50% of the paper. Even if you have done 1 hour for mathematics, this may happen because of time limitation. You are not able to reach to the last question, and there you may have easy questions. Or some students are of the habit of starting paper backwards. For them, it may happen that easy questions are in the middle, right? So when you're investing your time, there should be some return. So you're not supposed to spend your time on a question which has no guarantee of getting solved, right? First invest on those questions which you are sure you'll get the answer, which you already know the answer before starting the calculations. So by doing so, take a first go or first round in the entire paper if your preparation is up to the mark, right? If in the class of your coaching or wherever you are studying, you are able to understand say 70-80% whatever teacher is saying, then by in first round only, in my opinion, you should get through JEE. Now the second round, if at all time permits, right, will ensure what rank you are gonna get. In the first round, if you have selected all those questions which are procedural, and if you have done those questions without any calculation mistake, you are through JEE. Definitely you'll get through JEE. This much is sufficient. And in the second round, what you will be doing, every question you will solve afterwards will give you better rank. Now when I suggest this thing, some student come back and they what kind of observation they, what kind of problem they say they are facing is, some will say I'm not able to understand after reading a question whether I can do this question or not. Now this may happen, definitely this may happen, but this will happen only for 1 or 2 questions. It cannot happen for 10 questions, that after reading the question you are not knowing whether you should be able to get it or not in the first go. That means you are having a disease called unpreparedness. You are not prepared for JEE in that case, I would say, right? Or somebody will tell me that when I follow this strategy, I never get enough time for second round. Okay, well and fine. Now let me ask you, from simple IQ, why you won't get time for second round? Just tell me this. Why time is not available for second round? The first reason could be you are getting questions which are getting solved. So where is the problem? If you are already solving a question after leaving tough questions, then what is the problem? Your aim is to solve questions only. Or if somebody says that I was stuck in the question, that is your mistake. There may be some question which are seemingly very easy, but you are not supposed to wait more than, you are not supposed to waste more than 2 minutes on those questions. Those questions may be trapped. Or this may happen that a very small thing is not clicking to you. So in the first round, you should not get stuck to any question, and especially to those questions which you say definitely I'll get it. When you start doing it, initially your estimate was your estimate was that I should be able to do it within 3 minutes, and after 5 minutes still yes, it is not clicking. Then you should leave it altogether at once. You should not wait more another you should not waste another 2 minutes or 3 minutes on this question. You should not get into this trap of thinking that I've already wasted 5 minutes, so only 1 minute is required, I should not leave it, otherwise these 5 minutes will be lost. No, never. You should not do it. You should not fall into this trap. once you once you have once you are stuck in the question which was supposed to be done very easily, leave it altogether. One or two question cannot be that important for entire paper. What this kind of question can do, this kind of question can break your tempo of the entire paper. These kind of question can break your confidence, right? And when I said this round one and round two things, round two thing, then this may happen that if paper is tough, that you start doing question, you have gone through first five questions, but you're not able to understand any one of them. There's absolutely no problem, right? Even if you are continuously, you have studied, you have gone through 10 questions and you are not able to solve even one of them, then also you should not panic. Keep going in the first round, right? If you are not able to solve first 10 question, most probably, if your preparation is up to the mark, paper is tough, right? When paper is tough, then very few questions may be sufficient to get through JEE, and this has happened many times in the history. You should not doubt your own preparation. You should not doubt like only my mind is not working. This won't happen. There's 1 in a million chance that on that particular day only your brain won't be working. That won't happen. In all the probability, if if you were performing well during your preparation, then there is no reason why your brain won't work in examination. You should have that much confidence. If I'm not able to do 10 questions continuously, then others won't be able to do as well. Then others are also stuck. So if paper is very tough, then your first round will be finished very soon. If paper is very tough, your first round will be completed in half an hour. Then you should be happy if you are prepared. That means in half an hour you could find only very few questions which you could have solved, and you've gone through the entire paper. That means paper is very tough. Now sit back and relax and identify the question which you can do. Very few questions will be sufficient to get through JEE. Most likely this won't happen though, but still. In second round, after completing first round, in second round you should do only those questions which you find are procedural and lengthy. First of all, you should finish them, and then after that only you should start thinking on those questions which you are not able to understand. Then only you are supposed to read what the question is saying, how I can think over it. Before finishing every procedural question, you are not supposed to waste your time on a question which you are not able to understand. This is the crux I am trying to put, right? And how much time is available for second round, that depends from student to student. For some student, first round, say in 3 hour paper, first round may be well over by say 1.5 hours. For some it may be well over in 1 hour. For some it won't be over in 3 hours. That will decide different background of the students. Some students do have very sharp brain in sense of calculation or thinking. They will be able to do first round say within 1.5 hours or 1 hour. Then tough and moderate question they will be doing in their second round, and they will be getting a rank within top 100. Definitely. The fault does not lie in strategy. Whatever kind of paper you are having, by following this, in whichever rank band you are competing, you will fall into that rank band only. There won't be surprises in terms of your selection or rank. Like from the preparation, if you are having a potential of getting a rank between 500 and 1000, you'll get that rank if you're following this, in my opinion. And one more thing, whenever you are solving a question, right, you should think that I have invested say 5 minutes into it, so I should see through it that I am doing it right up to very last step. Like, have you studied, have you gone through the question correctly? Are you giving the answer for what is being asked? There should not happen that question says which one of these is not, and I'm giving which one of these is, something like this. Or they are asking what is the sum of digit of the answer. and I'm giving answer as it is. These kind of mistakes you should not do. Like when you have invested 3 4 5 minutes, and after that if you are earning a negative incentive for that, that is ridiculous, right? Preposterous. You should not do it. So what I'm trying to say, while you're solving a question, keep your focus in that question only. Some students are of the habit that this question is almost solved, now they'll start reading next question while doing calculation in this question. This is what I should say, sin. This is sin. This is height of stupidity, right? After solving question, if you're not able to get full marks, and rather if you're getting a negative mark, this is a sin which you cannot wash away, right? First thing this. And second thing, in OMR filling, in my opinion, it is just psychological that if I'm filling question by question, then it takes time. Definitely it doesn't take time. And even if it takes times, right? If even if it takes time, say for 3 minutes, my 3 minutes are wasted only by doing so, there is no problem. I would say this is investment. In that case, you won't be surprised at the last. You won't be coming like in the last I was filling the OMR under pressure, and just I shifted one bubble and 10 answers were wrong. These kind of mistakes you won't be doing. In my opinion, question by question you should fill OMR, or at least when you have completed a paper, then you should fill OMR. Because once you have gone through the question, there are many type of mistakes are possible. Like in the last, you may lose track of time. Say in last 5 minutes, electricity goes, something like this. You get panic. Or when you are coming back to the question after say 10 minutes, you take you have filled for wrong answer. I hope this is getting pretty lengthy, so I'll stop it and I'll make another video for detailed explanation. I think I have conveyed the message, whatever I want to put across. All the best.